So I just came out of the garden. I got a few things. You know, for our garden to have been as bad this year as it was, we have eked out bits at a time and got stuff. We've gotten quite a few cherry tomatoes and some big tomatoes. And we've got lots of green beans, especially coming in now. The green beans are really coming in, and that was that second planting we done with the bush beans. And then some of the purple whole green beans are doing pretty good. So, and that's the second basket full, so I've got enough to can some more. And these are beet greens. Now, I had never tried that before, and I've tried growing beets before, and they didn't do real good. But the greens always came up. And I just recently, within the past year, learned that beet greens are really good for you. And I make a mixed green, dried greens that I put in my green smoothie. And I've got a video on that about my green smoothie. And I dry greens. I dry different types of, like stinging nettle and different things. Stinging nettle and, you know, dandelion and purslane and spinach and different things, kale, that I put in my green smoothie. Well, I decided to go ahead and do some beets just for the greens this time. And so that's what I've got here is I'm washing those up and going to put those in the dehydrator. And then I'll do a jar of those and use those in with my green smoothie also. So there is my bone broth that I got canned up. I got 5 jars out of that. And more green beans. That's 12 more pints of green beans. So that makes about 30 pints and 5 quarts of green beans we have. And then I'm proud of my bone broth. It looks really good. I got 5 pints out of that. And you can see that bone broth video. I just put that up a few days ago. So you can go back and watch that making beef bone broth video. I'm boiling some quail eggs to make pickled quail eggs. So I guess I'll give a little quail update. There's my 2 smallest quail. That's the last 2 I hatched out. And they are in the small little planter. That's actually just a little planter box. And I've got it up closer to the light. And then I've got the tote with the other quail that are getting quite a bit bigger down here, and the 2 chickens. I've got 2 chickens and 2 quail. And the 2 quail are getting pretty big. I might can put them out soon with the medium-sized ones. But then I also have eggs going. I decided to go ahead and hatch out some more chicken eggs. And this is my last bunch. This is the bunch that I put in, and that right back there is the bunch I put in and said that was it. I wasn't going to do any more. So I'm waiting on those, see what they do, and then I'm done. And then I have some chicken eggs. I decided to go ahead and put some chicken eggs in because we went ahead and culled the rooster. So when I culled the rooster, because he was getting really mean, and I said, well, I better get some eggs and go ahead and put them in the incubator and hatch out some more chickens. So we're going to do that. That's going to be it for this year. And here's the next size quail. They are ready to be put out with the big ones. I'm fixing to do that one night. I got a little tip from Sampson Farm. He told me that he does just like with the chickens. He puts the quail out there late at night so that they're asleep, and they wake up the next morning and don't realize there's new ones in there. And we do that with our chickens. I just didn't think about it with the quail, but Nathan over at Sampson Farm told me to do that with the quail too. And we did with the last bunch. We did that and it worked. So I'm fixing to do this bunch. I'm fixing to put them out there in the next night or two. And that is the cage the button quail were in. I did get rid of the button quail. They just were too little to utilize. Their eggs are too little to utilize. They're more for ornamental, so I did give them away. And put this next batch of quail in here. But they are ready to go out. And those are the jumbo whites. So I'm going to show you something we're fixing to work on. You can see what our house looks like right now. And then if you look at our channel page, what our house looked like a while back, that was a couple of years ago, it has darkened a whole lot. Now all we done, it had darkened before and gotten kind of gray. Now it's getting a browner look. But before it had gotten gray looking. And all we done was took some Thompson's wood cleaner and sprayed it, and boy, it just sprayed that stuff right off of there, and you could see the beautiful wood again. And I'll show that picture. That's what it will look like when we do that again. And so we just discussed it, and we decided, you know, soon we're going to need to do that again and get that pretty wood look back that we had when we built it. And now, right now, it's kind of got a gray and brown from weathering. But you can spray that stuff on there and it just washes that right off and gives it that brand new look again. And when we do, we will probably do a video on that. So that was pretty much my Wednesday off, y'all. Except for going to the bank and filing a debit card dispute. I had to do that this morning. That took up half of my day today, and half of my day yesterday was on the phone talking to them because someone had gotten my debit card number and used it. There's an old saying, don't put your eggs in one basket. And that kind of rang through my head today when I was going through all this, was that we put all of our money in this bank, in this checking account. And I had a debit card for this checking account, and I use it all the time. That's what I use. Lee usually carries money. I carry the debit card and use it for everything. And online purchases, and every little thing that I do, gas station, grocery store, anything I do, I use the debit card. So somebody wiped us out, and I went to the bank. I called the bank yesterday first off and talked to them, and they put a block on the card, and then I had to go in this morning and file a debit card dispute through the bank, explaining that I didn't make these purchases and all this. And so they are going to put my money back. They said it would take 3 to 10 days though, and so I'm hoping for 3. Meantime, I just happened to have a little cash, and I had a small check that I had gotten from work that I hadn't put in the bank yet, thank goodness. And so I went ahead and cashed that with them, and we had a little cash on us. So we've got enough to make it for 3 to 10 days, you know. And Lee gets paid in a few days again anyways. So we're fine, but it was scary. And it made me think. I thought, man, now I know why people used to bury their money in jars in the backyard. So I'm considering burying some money in the backyard. No, I'm going to try not to use the card as much anymore, and use cash more. And taught me a lesson. And this had happened to us a couple of years ago, so you would think that would have taught me a lesson. There's another old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So yeah, that first time should have taught me a lesson a couple of years ago, and I guess it didn't. So now it's happened again, and this time I'm thinking, yeah, well, we're gonna diversify some money and start keeping more cash on us. And so there you go. I just wanted to end this with saying be careful. There is so much scam going on. I just saw where Sherry at Two Family Homestead had put on her Facebook page that she had had a call, a strange call scam, you know, and I'd had several lately, and I've talked to people, a lot of people who've had calls that said they were the electric company and their electric was about to get shut off if they didn't pay this bill, and they knew they were paid, and then they called the electric company and the electric company said, we don't do that. And I had a call just a few days ago that said the IRS was going to sue me if I didn't send a certain amount of money to this account, or wire this money or something, you know. And I knew better than to believe that, and I've heard people say that they'd gotten that call and knew better, you know. So what I'm saying here is be careful, be very careful, and watch that debit card or that credit card, because they are out there looking and getting them. And keep an eye on your account. If you have a checking or savings account, keep an eye on it. The reason we knew, because I check mine every few days. And it just happened that when I checked it yesterday, I noticed this strange amount on there that had been taken out. And I contacted them then. But it said it was a PayPal thing, and they wanted me to call PayPal, which I did, and I got kind of tossed back and forth, and by the time we got done, they'd done wiped my account out. So actually I feel like the bank should have realized that, and it should have been an alert for somebody at the bank, because I'd already called when I noticed a strange amount that had come out of my account that I didn't purchase. And so they kind of dug into it. They kind of investigating it a little bit. And they are going to refund my money in full. But they were investigating it and told me that the first amount that came out was came out in San Jose, California. I said, I've never been to California in my life. You know. The next amount was Nike.com, and I said, well, okay, I wouldn't wear Nikes right now if you gave them to me, so sorry, but I wouldn't. And I don't wear Nikes anyway. If I'm gonna wear tennis shoes, they're gonna be New Balance. And so anyway, so it is mine and Lee's 21st anniversary, and we are fixing to go out to eat. We are going to the local big steakhouse. One of my daughters gave us a gift card to the local really nice steakhouse, and we're about to go eat. So thank y'all for watching. Please give us a thumbs up and a comment and subscribe. And if you've had any weird scams go on in your life, or recently, especially recently, let me know. I'd like to hear that in the comments, because I know it's getting worse and worse. So y'all be careful. Thanks for watching.